The following video contains images of cadavers and human anatomy that may be graphic to some. Viewer discretion is advised.
Their usual response is, "Oh my God, you know, it's disgusting."
It's what they expect from us, what they can afford, and what they want.
Sometimes people realize that it's someone they actually encountered in the past.
Feeling guilty? No, I mean, they come in, they know they're going to get a service.
Detailed to the point that they're horrific.
They consider the most kind of human aspects of the body, obviously the face and also the hand.
For the most part, what we do is not for everybody.
I thought it was time to give back.
Everything's pretty dead, to be honest with you.
The idea of having your physical body impact the lives of others once you are dead is hard to understand. In the South, most people choose to have a proper funeral because we are unaware of other choices. The Louisiana School of Medicine has a program where you can donate your remains for the purpose of medical education. A funeral is not the only option, but still everyone questions what to do with their body after death. Even people in the industry have a difficult time making a decision.
Based on the way I was brought up and based on my personal beliefs, I would probably opt not to donate my body to science. Although I think it's a very worthwhile thing for those who do that.
A funeral may be standard in our society, but what if a family could gain closure by knowing their loved one was helping the lives of others? University of California, San Francisco gross anatomy professor Dr. Kimberly Topp has learned firsthand how her decision of becoming a donor will have an impact on students' learning.
I am a donor from the UCSF to the UCSF facility, and interestingly enough, it took me a while to think about doing that, but I know that the students really respect the gift.
All of us are so appreciative of the donors because it's a huge thing to do, to, you know, expose your body to a bunch of strangers and have us, you know, it's very different. I mean, I think that people donating their organs to save lives, that's also a huge decision, but I think this one in many ways is even more of a hard decision for people. I don't know if I would be able to do that.
In today's fast-paced society, it is a hassle most people would just assume avoid.
As far as donating, I know there's a lot of requirements, and most of the time the families that have signed up, they don't meet all of those requirements at the time of death. So we don't see too many. It's probably maybe 5 or 10 a year that we get a call on that they've donated their body to science, but it's not often.
The impact the cadavers have on our lives makes the decision of donating seem like it would be the obvious choice. But religious convictions, personal beliefs, and modesty all tend to play a factor in the ultimate choice of whether or not to donate one's body to science. The process of body donation begins with a decision.
You have thought about the decision and decided that you want to contribute to science and education. The process is discussed with you, with the Willed Body Program Director, and then you're given several pages of paperwork to fill out to make sure that you really understand that your family is not going to get your body back for a funeral.
The remains of the donor will not be returned to the family for proper burial, but services are available to give closure to the relatives.
We do have a memorial service for the cadavers, and the students put that on, organize the whole thing, and definitely show how the gift that these individuals have provided has really impacted their education.
And most of the donors are actually from the area, like patients at UCSF that agree to donate their body after their death. So a lot of their family members are able to attend.
Even some funeral homes are willing to work with families that have loved ones donate their body to science.
We have done that. where they've called us and said, we're donating, you know, Mama's going to science. So we'll set up some type of service for them where they can still come in here and just have a visitation. We'll set up pictures, do a video for them.
Even though the process of donation seems simple, there are regulations when it comes to place and circumstances of death. In Louisiana, the Bureau of Anatomical Services accepts all bodies being donated to science as long as they meet state regulations at the time of death. One benefit of body donation is often overlooked.
It's completely free. Yes, there's no cost to the family at all, in contrast to what you could be charged for a funeral of sorts.
Average funeral service, speaking for us, probably looking anywhere from $7,500 on up.
A lot of the funeral homes are in it as a business, just like anyone else. I don't look at them as taking advantage of death. It's a necessity, and it's needed by the public.
Most of the time the families already know what they're getting into. It's a service just like anything else. You go to a fine restaurant, you know, you're going to pay more for the service. You go to McDonald's, you know, a lot of times most of our families don't have, you know, a problem paying those costs.
The decision to become a cadaver and to have your body used for science education is less about the cost and more about the impact it will have on others. By donating your body for the purpose of medical research and learning, you are impacting not only the lives of medical students, but also the lives of those that they save.
These are the first patients that the students see, no matter what academic program they're in, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, physical therapy, they're still their first patients. And it really brings home the physicality of treating people.
I think working with cadavers is crucial, like in medical education, just to learn general human anatomy.
The hands-on experience of working with a cadaver gives medical students a look into what they will later be dealing with on a daily basis.
Medical students have a lot of books with pictures that are drawn very intricately that can also help you learn anatomy, but it's nothing even close to actually being in the anatomy lab.
The use of cadavers and donation of bodies is not a new practice in medicine.
Cadavers and the dead has always been used to teach students and always will be. So without the use of cadavers and the teaching of medical students as well as other medical personnel, we wouldn't be anywhere where we are today because of it.
Medical students use the information they learn in the anatomy lab to deal with patients and in pursuing careers in medicine that are far from the norm.
Everything I've learned in medical school with regard to the cadavers, I employ now in dealing with the dead. So it's been extremely important to me as well as a forensic pathologist.
By understanding what human anatomy ordinarily looks like, forensic scientists can determine the cause of death, which gives them the same satisfaction of saving a life as it would for other doctors.
It's the challenge to be able to answer those tough questions, both for family as well as for the public authorities, that makes this worthwhile to me.
In our society, death is not discussed because it's an uncomfortable subject. But to look at death from a different perspective, it can impact the lives of others. Do not overlook the options of what to do with your body when you pass away, because whether you're dead or alive, the choice is yours.